Hi again folks, back with another reaction video. This time the request is for Dream Theater and Scarred. This video is live from the Boston Opera House with lyrics. This is the second Dream Theater reaction video that I've done so far on my channel. The first one was for the Ministry of Lost Souls. That was also live. So do check that out if you want to see any more Dream Theater. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I was expecting Mike Portnoy. That's not him. Is that Mike Mangini? Groovy. Okay, 3 guys on stage here, and you know, think how orchestral this sounds already. Obviously, I know, I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's Mike Mangini on drums. The tapping on the bass, you know, that itself sounds like 2 people playing. So we've already established a kind of lovely arrangement, and here comes John Petrucci in just to put a little beautiful melody on top. Playing with a very heavy delay on the guitar. Not sure if he's violining there or not. I mean, that maybe is just like a delay effect there, but a lot of the time when you strike a note on the guitar with your volume down, you play it, obviously there's no sound, but it's being sustained, then you roll the volume on, it comes through. It sounds like that, you know, that the note's coming through after he struck it. So I have to have a look or see what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, he is striking the note way ahead of when we're hearing it. There we go, it's a nice pentatonic runs, nice rocky stuff. It's also worth pointing out there, you know, what's going on in the bass there, it almost sounds like a piano. You know, he's really filling out the register with the lower notes and the higher notes tapping there. It almost sounds like a little sort of, you know, piano arrangement going on. So it'll be interesting to see what comes in on top of that when Jordan Rudess brings the keyboards in. It's really bluesy. Really groovy bass line on this. That's what I'm mainly listening to. Ears are drawn to the bass. Okay, so this has kind of put me in mind of like older Dream Theater. The style of this is kind of very reminiscent of like Images and Words era. I'm not quite sure what album this is off. But that musically, it sounds very similar to that era. Nice key changes, sir. Oh, here we go. Yeah, nice heavy riffs here. This is one of the things I really like about Dream Theater. Obviously, they're a very progressive band. So compositionally, they remind me a little bit of classical music in the sense that you know, the likes of Beethoven was very sort of well known in his compositional style to take a few elements and just be really experimental with those elements over the course of, you know, whether it's a symphony or a piano sonata or whatever it may be. A lot of other prog bands, and this isn't a criticism in any way, but, you know, just an observation, but a lot of other prog bands, the style is to just change, you know, which I love, you know, I like that style. You know, you'll start somewhere and go somewhere else and go somewhere else and so on. And it's hard to sometimes it's hard to recognize anything that came before. But, you know, that big heavy riff that came in there has naturally led on to the way the riffing is going on here now that the singing has come back in. You know, it's almost like a variation on the riff we've just heard instead of just a new riff. You know, so it's very clever songwriting. So we must be, if we're in standard tune there, I can see from the keyboard, this is all based around F sharp, down, you know, on the keyboard's E, F sharp, and the guitar is going to be open in second fret, you know, so all based around that F sharp minor, I guess, chord or key. You know, even that just naturally leads on from the last one because of this E to F sharp feeling. And we still have it now. Nice organ pad sort of things going on with the keyboard. And James really pushing on this now. We're going heavy style. So vocally, you know, if you've watched my last one, you know, I did admit, you know, I just keep these videos as honest as I can. I did admit before that I'm not the biggest James LaBrie fan. I guess what he was showcasing there is one of the things that, you know, unfortunately does kind of put me off him, is the really, really exaggerated vibrato that he does while he's pushed. I just don't love it, you know. So yeah, that it gets a little bit in the way for me, you know, sorry, but, you know, I'm really loving everything else going on, but when it gets into that sort of really pushed register, there's something about it that I find hard to deal with. That kind of stuff there. Back to that riff. It's a nice riff. You know, this is obviously a while ago, you know, like I said, I don't know what album this is off, but just the overall arrangement, it definitely puts me in the mind of 90s stuff, this, as opposed to anything later than that. And, you know, when we think about what's going on there with the double kick and the guitar, you know, that real locked-in type feel is, I think in modern day, a lot of it is attributed to that sort of djenty kind of stuff, and I guess like metalcore and genres like that, where we get the, you know, the kick and the bass and the guitar all in unison. But, you know, this is, you know, dating back before that. Like I said, you know, the vocals for me here, again, I apologize, but these are it's just my opinion, you know, for what it's worth, it's just my opinion. But vocally here, you know, I'm kind of ignoring the vocals and I'm really going into that da-da-da-da-da and the groove in the band. And I'm really loving that sort of staccato kind of feel with, you know, the riffing and the double kick together. That for me is really what's standing out here.
Yes, I'm not something I can say. You don't understand.
And the guitar riff, and there are lots of harmonics, you know, going on. As opposed to the pinch harmonics, you get a lot of metal. You know, he's hitting those sort of open, like maybe a 5th or 7th fret to get that those harmonic sort of sounds there. And now we're back into the main riff. I suspect that Jordan will have his work cut out for him soon, but at the moment he's just like chord, you know, it's just taking a little bit of respite there, bit of a rest. One-handed. Wow. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. You get this in all sorts of genres of music, like, but to get groove across, syncopation is so important. You know, that's a straight up. I know there have been different time signatures and so on as I've went along, but that's like a sort of straight up. It seems, no, all right, it's an instant impression, so I could be wrong, but it seems like a 4/4 groove here. And, you know, the accent is offbeat. Dum, 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 dum. You know, anytime you get that syncopation over like a straight time signature, instantly groovy, and you cannot help but kind of go along with it. There, down, 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 down. Oh, nice. Oh, this is really nice. Wow. Is this the C board? Ooh. Now, I think Jordan, you know, is one of those guys, as from a keyboardist point of view, that he gets to prototype a lot of gear, you know, before, you know, it's maybe released to the masses. That's something I've seen the odd video on YouTube before, but I'm pretty sure that's a Rolly C board. I don't know if this is maybe one of the prototypes. This video I'm looking at here is 2014, which would make it 7 years old. And I, you know, in my head, I thought that was a fairly recent innovation. So, you know, basically what he's got there is, from my understanding of it, is a keyboard it's got like a pressure kind of touch on it. So I think he's got a little bit more control, like you would have on, say, a stringed instrument, where, you know, once he's struck the note, that he can include vibrato on it. That's obviously something you can't do on a piano. You can't get the note to sort of wiggle about like that. So I'm pretty sure he's going to get a lot of expression in here. But yeah, just I'm noticing that there. So this could be interesting, how he's going to incorporate this into the song. This could also mean I'm totally off, by the way. I thought this song was in the 90s. So either it's from the 90s and he has introduced modern technology to it, or this is a lot more modern. So I'm not sure. Maybe you can let me know. Oh, lovely fills. Getting a military feel here on the snare. Oh yes. Got a wee tambourine on the go there. I like this. Okay, so just as I was saying before about the vocals not really doing it for me, they are here. So again, I'm not just issuing a blanket statement, I don't like the singing or anything like that. I know some people are like that. I remember somebody years ago telling me they didn't like Iron Maiden because they didn't like Bruce Dickinson's voice. And I was like, what? You know, so, but that's just, I mean, it's just opinions. You know, we all have our own opinions. But yeah, that seems odd to me how somebody couldn't like the singer from Iron Maiden. I know they've had different singers, but Bruce Dickinson's voice is amazing to me. Anyway, so this is a point where, you know, I've got into this sort of more, it feels like more like a chorus. And the range that James is singing in here, you know, I'm really, my ears now going towards the vocal, whereas beforehand I was kind of being drawn away from it. So yeah, I like this.
You say you want everyone happy. We're not laughing.
It's got a real 80s feel, this bit. Oh, it did. And a bit heavier now. My goodness, how many chord changes. Where's the guitar solo? Okay, so I think this riff sounds like maybe one of the riffs we had at the start. Da, na, na. This sort of descending line we had. Yeah, that's syncopation. Talked about that before. Oh yes. Are we getting busy? You know, obviously incredibly complex there, what's going on. You remind me a little bit of the kind of thing you would hear in Frank Zappa's music, where he would have been, the orchestration he would have used there would have been more reliant on woodwind and marimbas and so on to get those sort of busy little fun kind of lines. We've got the keyboards in there, but the drum, you know, everything's locked very much together. The drum fills, the guitar runs, the keyboard runs. You know, I love the way that's a bit basically a trait of Dream Theater that I've noticed, is that they kind of have these little interludes where everybody kind of comes together and it's really, really locked. Yeah, really, really fun. Let's see. Let's go on. Oh yes, there was another thing I was going to mention there, which was, despite everything getting really, really busy, I did notice that there was a groove the whole time. So even if we're going into 5 or 7 or whatever it is, they're managing to keep the music really virtuosic and interesting. But, you know, I don't know this song and I'm not sitting back like, oh, this is overwhelming, I can't really listen to this. They're clever enough to leave this in for us so that, you know, we can follow it even though we can't follow it, if that makes sense. So they're trying to throw us off here somewhere with a snare, but we're still on the beat. Harmonies together. Again, so there was like an extra beat there where I thought the whole thing would come to an end. It didn't. There was another one, but it didn't come in halfway, you know, so again they kept it on the beat. Here we go. Love that tone. Yes. Whoa. Whoa, that was special. That was serious. Yeah, that was seriously good there, that keyboard solo. Like, and all while, manipulating the whole bench, so to speak. So it's nice that he has that rig because he can get that really dynamic physical movement going on. It's one of the things, I talked about that in the last video, is, typically when you're playing with a keyboard, you're stationary and it's hard to kind of, when you fit in with the Rock Band, it's tricky to, you're playing the bass or the guitar or something like that, you can really move your instruments. So that rig that he has, I kind of feel like that lent itself to him, because he was expressing himself so well there through that keyboard solo, and obviously using the pitch wheel and so on to get feedback kind of sounds and like, harmonic kind of things going on there. I'm not entirely sure what was going on, but it sounded very guitar-like. Yeah. It's a pinch harmonics. My goodness, that was the guitar solo then. Yeah, so it's not like the keyboard solo was amazing, but the guitar solo wasn't. They're as good as one another, sort of thing. Incredible band, really incredible band. I guess maybe another thing worth pointing out there is maybe a strange sort of thing here is that I was just saying that the keyboard typically is rooted in place, and yet Jordan is moving it all around, whereas the guitar is typically, the rock guitar, the punk guitar type thing, you're throwing your hair around and you're doing all this. But whenever John gets to the intricate parts of the solo, he has these sort of devices on stage, where he can bring his knee up. He basically puts the electric guitar into like a classical stance, which is across the knee, so he's actually, in a sort of ironic way, it looks like he's trying to go more traditional with the guitar to sort of keep everything nice and tidy, as opposed to all of this. Oh my goodness. You see how athletic that is? He's playing from here right up there, and that would be Phil. That's worth watching again there. How fast. I mean, I'm sitting here just in my house and I can't move that quick. Amazing. This is the 90s feeling Dream Theater here that I was talking about. Whoa, really wasn't seeing that coming. Wow. Wow. So a little different to what I was talking about earlier on there, where they were busy and keeping the groove. You know, they're sort of really keeping us on our toes right now. You know, take me a few listens of this song to try and figure out what was going on there. You know, that was pretty complicated sounding. They're putting on a masterclass now, really. I mean, when are they not? They always are. Nobody put a foot wrong anywhere. Not a single note out of place. Just unreal. Whew. Yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything about Dream Theater that hasn't been said before. I mean, they're unreal, unreal. You know, it's one thing to write a song like that, but to be able to perform it without breaking a sweat, you know. Wow. Okay, so scores out of 10. I think from a compositional point of view, this one was a bit more fun for me than the last one. I really enjoyed the last one as well, like, but I think I would give this maybe an 8 out of 10. A wee bit higher than the last time, so really impressive stuff. Not always there for the singing, you know. I feel like, you know, that I actually do prefer the sort of more instrumental moments in Dream Theater, you know. So, but it's still all fun, still all good. So, like, subscribe if you're inclined, and comment below, because I'm working through the list. All the videos that I'm doing are all requests, so stick a request in there for me, and chances are I'll do it for you. Thanks very much. See you next time.